Okay, so once again, I want you guys to click row 1 and then go up to insert, hit insert, and then row above. So go to insert. Oh, you did that? Oh, so you have a blank row here? Okay, highlight that whole row. A1 to G1, click and drag.
I got it.
Click and drag.
Click and drag.
Click and drag. Just row 1. Just row 1. Then I'm going to go up here to this button that says merge cells, and I'm going to click it and merge cells. The button right beside the grid lines. Now I've got one line. This is where my title is going to go. It's going to say data to determine the density of wood blocks. So that's my title.
How do I make a blank one?
Just highlight it. What does yours look like?
Why is it like this?
Click row 1 and hit insert row above.
Can I center that?
Don't center anything yet. All right, let's center it. Highlight your whole data table. Go to alignment, center align this baby. Do the Cupid shuffle. To the left, to the right, to the center. Okay.
Whoa. What'd you do?
I center aligned it. I went up here. Yes, to get that title. Then I highlighted all those rows. Then I merged it. Then I typed my title.
How do I merge it?
You just click them all and go up here, right here, this button. It says merge all. All right. Next. All right. Shh. Listen up. Bree.
I did not center.
You have to highlight it first. Gotta highlight it. So, if you get behind on this step, ask a friend. Ask a friend. All right, now, volume. Click in your volume box that's empty. And I'm going to show you how to have Sheets do a calculation for you. Who's ever done a calculation in Sheets before? It's so nice. You're going to hit equals, just like I did. Whenever I hit equals, that means we're telling it we wanted to do an equation. Because what do equations end with? Equals. I'm going to click my first length, which is, for me, B4. I don't know what that is for you. Just click your first length. Times in Sheets is asterisk, so I'm going to hit times. Then I'm going to click my first width. For me, that's C4, or I could type C4 and tell it the cell I want it to do. Times, multiply is asterisk, my first height. So, I hit equals, then I clicked, asterisk, click, or you could physically type B4, asterisk C4, asterisk D4. All right? In a second, hold on. Then, I'm going to hit enter. It may give you a choice at this point to autofill. If it says autofill, do it. If it says hashtag number, you probably have units in your numbers. Yeah, that's why I put the units there. You cannot have units in your numbers. It cannot calculate letters. So get rid of all the G's and the CM's. That's why we put the CM's, the units up here, because Sheets cannot calculate letters. Okay. Now, who was able to autofill? Several people. Okay. If you were not, who was not able to autofill? Just gave you one calculation. Okay, that's fine. Here's what we're going to do. Click one time. Click one time on the cell that we just calculated. Then you're going to go to the lower right-hand corner. Do you see how my cursor turned from a pointer to a little thin crosshair?
Oh, it's a scope. Like a Fortnite.
You guys see that? You're then going to watch my screen if you need to see this. Click and drag, and it will do all the calculations for you.
Yo, chill.
If you need to catch up, I'm recording this. You can always watch us back.
Okay, so wait, why am I 6? Why do I have so many decimals?
Now, how do I get my decimals? I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to use my decimal places again, right? My sig dig button. So I need 3 sig digs. I need this one to be 3 sig digs. I need this one to be 3 sig digs. There we go. Super easy to fix sig digs.
The calculation part.
What? One more time. Watch my screen. Equals. Click my first length, asterisk. Click my first width, asterisk. Click my first height, enter. Autofill if you can. If not, click the bottom right, drag down. Asterisk is Shift 8. Okay. Now. Yeah. Yeah. Or mine. You can just use mine if you want to. Sure. All right. Next. Density.
Whoa.
We are? Where are we at? Where are you at, Caden?
I'm almost there.
Okay. I'm going to pause 1 minute for people to catch up.
Wait, what's the equation? Mass divided by volume.
Is it just like a slash?
Am I up to speed?
Okay. Here we go. Now, we know. Shh. Listen up. It's really helpful if you guys watch my screen first, then do it on your screen. Density equals, this is a calculation. It's mass divided by volume. So I'm going to click my first mass. Divided by is the slash, which should be probably under your question mark. Divided by, click my first volume. Or I could have, watch this, I could have also typed in E4 divided by F4. However you want to do it. It's the same as clicking. After your equation's in there, hit enter, autofill if it'll let you. If it won't let you autofill, click on your cell one time, go to the lower right hand corner, drag down.
How many sig digs should this be?
Probably 3. My volumes are all 3, so your density is probably going to be 3.
Hey, don't we have one that's 2 though?
You may have one that's 2. It just depends on your blocks.
Yeah, I think.
Yes.
G4.
If you need to get to 2 sig digs, click the individual one. Go up here to decrease decimal places.
Yeah.
Click it. That once.
Oh, it is?
You can make more or less.
260. Mine just auto goes.
Okay.
Jack, can you do last one with 260 points?
Now, we are going to highlight our whole data table. We're going to make it look pretty now. So, here we go. I'm going to go up here beside the paint can to the grid lines, to the borders, and I'm going to choose all borders. So I'm going to make it draw my lines. Beside the paint can, I'm choosing all borders, which is nice. Remember making these data tables with like your ruler and tracing on the lines?
Whoa.
We're not doing that anymore.
It is being like
Now, the last thing we have to do is make it graph for us. Now, this is a shortcut I just learned today.
Wait, why does mine say Mr. Heller?
I don't know why it says Mr. Heller. It shouldn't. So, what you're going to do, please watch my screen, watch my finger. This finger is going to come down in a second on my board and hit command. Do you guys have command? So if you guys are going to be control. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the first row, which I want to be my, hold on, I forget which one. 1 second, pause. This is for school.
What? Yo.
Okay. The first, listen up. Shh, shh. The first row that I highlight, it will choose X, make it my X axis. The second row I highlight, it will make it my Y axis. So watch my finger. My finger is going to go down here, and if it was yours, you would hit Control. My X axis, I'm going to highlight just the numbers under volume, because I want volume to be on my X axis. My finger's still on the button. Then I'm going to highlight my mass, because that's my Y. Then I'm going to let go. I have now told it when I hit Insert Graph, I want volume to be my X, I want mass to be my Y. After that, I'm going to go to Insert, Chart.
Wow.
Now, this is not the type of chart that I want. Do you guys have the chart editor open?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. I got to zoom out. That's why I probably can't see mine. Here it is. Here's my chart editor over here. We do not want a column chart. What we want is a scatter chart.
Scatter plot.
So we're going to go to a scatter plot. Click scatter plot. Look at that beautiful graph. Does anybody need to see the highlight thing again? All right, shh.
He's made a highlight this thing, bro.
Listen up. All right, I'm going to delete my graph. Once again, I'm going to hit Command, hold that in. The first row that I highlight is going to be my X. The second row I highlight is going to be my Y. I want volume on my X, mass on my Y. You got them both highlighted? Then I'm going to go to Insert. Let me zoom in. Why are rulers flying right now? Insert Chart. Insert Chart. Chart Editor, change it to Scatter Plot. All right. Now, if this was a graph that you were, put the rulers down. We don't need rulers right now. If this was a chart that you were going to turn in, if you turn this in right now, you would be missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 points. Why?
I'm not sure.
No titles,
Wait, tail's driving.
no labels, no units, no line, no equation. So, I'm going to go over here to Customize. You guys really need to watch what I'm doing. You really need to watch what I'm doing.
Wait, hold on.
No. We got to keep moving. I want to Chart Customize. If you get behind, you can watch this back on Google and catch up tonight. It's no big deal. Okay. I'm going to go to Chart Axis and Titles. Does it say Chart Title? I don't want that yet. I want to go to my horizontal axis first. So I click the horizontal axis title.
I do not see that.
You click on,
I got you.
okay? My horizontal is volume in centimeters cubed. Once you type that in, you will see it has added that on your horizontal, also known as your x-axis. I'm then going to choose from horizontal axis to my vertical axis. This is pretty sweet because it's going to write it sideways for you. So, mass in grams. Check that out. Boom. It even made it sideways for you, which is pretty sweet.
How do you learn how to use sheets?
I'm just a pro. I'm a master. I'm Google certified.
Okay, you just said you learned this today.
No, I learned the highlight thing today. I never knew that before today. Before today, to highlight the X, highlight the Y. Before that, there was a harder way to do it. Then, now I'm going to do my chart title. Now that I know what my X and Y are, what is the title of every chart always?
Dependent variable versus independent variable.
Y versus X. Also what Joel said. So my title is going to be what? Mass versus volume. If you want to be fancy and center align that, you can. I don't care. We're not going to go into that right now. But right here, you're just going to format and center align it. I'm not worried about that if you don't want to. Where are we at? We good? Okay. Next, I want you to click one of your dots. When you click one of your dots, it highlights all of your dots. Highlights all of your dots. So even if you don't have your labels, you can do this step. I'm going to go down here to my chart editor. It's probably on series now, which is good. And I'm going to go down here to trend line. I'm going to click trend line.
Where's trend line?
On your chart editor. If you clicked one dot, you should be on series.
What's that line of best fit?
Line of best fit done.
Yeah.
Line of best fit done. Now, here's the thing. Line of best fit is done. Shh. Shh. There's going to be a chance to catch up in a second. I promise. I promise there'll be a chance to catch up in a second. Now, I need to know the equation. I don't want to do y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. I want it to do it for me. So I'm going to scroll down. You see where it says label?
No. Yes. It says no.
It says none. I want it to change from none to use equation. Check that out. Boom. I now have, this number is my what? Slope, right? I have the slope. This is my y equals mx plus b. It gives me my slope-intercept form. My graph's done now.
4, 7. Wait a minute.
My graph is done.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
I haven't done it.
My graph is done. Now, if you guys saw, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. Shh, guys, listen up. In a second, I will be around to help everybody. We got to get through it one time first. You guys see how I put my name here? I made my chart a little smaller. I put my name here. Any guesses of why I put my name there?
So that's your name.
Because I'm going to print this in a second, right? And then we're going to staple this together. What do you have to do to finish your lab? Here's how you finish your lab. So take one of these, pass it back. Take one, pass it back. I know that was fast. We're good though.
Hey, Bob. Alright, so the math is 200.
Here you go.
Yo, Nick,
Here you go.
we're just.
Mine's 21.8.
That's fine. Guys, you and your partner, your data, your line might be a little different. Google Sheets is weird and sometimes rounds different for different people. That's fine. It's fine.
What if they're like 8?
All right. I'm going to flip off of this for a second. Shh, 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 shh. And talk about what you have to do to finish your lab, what you're going to turn in. So I'm going to flip over this piece of paper that I just gave you. How do you finish your lab? You would agree, the last section that you typed on your, the last section you typed on your Google Sheet, we did a pre-lab, right? On a Google Word doc? Yes? The last thing you typed these materials, yes? Did we say data C attached? I don't remember. Okay, so that's what we just made. So you're ready to print that. All right, that's done. After data, you're going to have a section called calculations. You can just say C attached, which is what I would recommend. Where I usually put my calculations is on my data table. So I print my data table and then I do my calculations under my data table. You have to show a sample calc. A sample calc means only one of each calculation you did. So you'll have to show me the sample calc for one volume to prove to me that you know what you made Google Sheets do. How will that look? It's going to look like this. It's going to say V equals L times W times H. V equals blank centimeters times blank centimeters times blank centimeters. V equals blank centimeters cubed with sig digs. So you're going to show one through-line method for one volume. Any of your volumes. Make sense? You can do that on a separate sheet of paper. You can type it if you want to, if you don't want to do the C attached. It's just kind of a pain in the butt to type 3-line method. But if you want to, you can. One sample calc for density. You do the same thing for density. V equals D over, wrong. D equals M over V. Show the 3-line method. And then all you have to do is write your slope with units. Our graph gave us our slope. It was the number before x. Agreed? And then you guys can figure out the units. Something per something. That's your calculation section. Y over x. Then you're going to have a conclusion section. So you're going to skip a line. Conclusion. In the conclusion section, you're going to rewrite the purpose. You're going to say the purpose of this lab was to da-dee-da-dee-da. This was accomplished by, on this part, where these dots are, you're going to just re-summarize the procedure in 1 or 2 sentences. I don't want you guys to rewrite out the whole procedure. You could say something like, we took the volume and masses of blocks, we divided them to get density, something like that. I don't need a step-by-step redo of the whole procedure. The slope on the graph represents blank. So you guys will tell me what the slope on the graph represents in your conclusion. That's the conclusion section. So you're looking at 1, 2, maybe 4 sentences there. The last section is limitations and improvements. So limitations and improvements, have you guys ever heard of this section before? This might be new. Okay, limitations and improvements are not human error. It's something in the lab that could have messed up your data that you couldn't fix. So if we think about the blocks, what could have affected us while we were measuring our blocks that could have messed up our data? Kate. Human error. It's got to be something that we didn't do, that we couldn't control. It has to be something about the blocks.
Like if the blocks had been dropped and a piece was like missing, then there would be less.
That is a good limitation. You could say, my block, the blocks could have been dropped and a chunk could have fallen out. That would have affected the what of the block? The mass. You could have said the block's edges were a little bit rounded, right? If the edges were rounded, that would have made it a little bit shorter. How could that? Then you would say, that's a good limitation. I would use one of those for your first one. Then you would say, this could be improved by, how would you improve it? Getting new blocks, right? Getting new blocks. What else? Do you guys think you're the first people to handle those blocks? What is on your hands?
Oil.
Okay. Does oil have a mass?
Yeah.
Could that have affected your blocks?
Yeah.
Could you improve that?
Yeah.
So that's your hint for your second limitation. You'll then print this. You will staple this with your calculations and your data table together and turn that in by tomorrow. By tomorrow. By tomorrow. You can print to the Chem Lab. The Chem Lab should be available for your printing purposes. I'll unlock the Chem Lab. The rest of the period is time to work and time for me to help anybody that fell behind. Raise your hand if you need help. I'm going to unlock the Chem Lab. You can work with your partner the rest of the lab.